How important is your company logo? How much time should you put into its design? Should you hire anyone to do it for you? Where can you find inspiration for it? I'm Jamie.
I'm Mark.
And we're Social Sudo. All right, Mark. So we've already designed our company's logo in the past, but let's go over a couple of things about like how important is it, how much time should we spend on it. So take it away.
Yeah, so a logo is pretty much, it's a blank slate. And I think philanthropically it can really sort of display who you are as a company. It can speak a little bit to your mission statement, and it can help give your brand recognition in the sense of colors that you choose or fonts that you select. I think it's the first step in really realizing a trademark. So I think the first thing to do is maybe look at similar industries, similar markets that you're in, similar products, and perhaps take a look at some of those logos just through Google Images that already exist. And if you want, you can draw your inspiration from any of those logos. You can modify them slightly and change them according to however you see fit to really identify with your brand and trademark.
Okay, so let's say I'm getting stuck and this is like a point that's holding me back from getting some other stuff done, and I want to get this done quickly. How much time should I really dedicate to thinking about this? Is this something that, you know, I'm not going to be able to turn back around in the future and change, or you know, is this kind of like a permanent thing that's going to be solidified in my company? Like how much stress should I put on this?
Yeah, so I'm generally a huge advocate of trying to get it right the first time. But the reality is very few of us can pull that off, even myself. I believe when we created a logo for Macroscopic Solutions, we had 2 or 3 different logos, kind of on a scale from simple to very complicated. And I think always we chose the simplest logo, and we also chose the one that sort of appealed to our background. Us being geologists, we sort of took a spin off of geology and then blended it into optical microscopy. And we fell on something that we really liked. I think possibly maybe we spent 2-3 days on it before we finally made a selection and announced what our logo would look like. I don't think you need to spend a killer amount of time on this. It is obviously something you could upgrade and modify as time goes on. So if you do find yourself super stuck, just kind of settle on something and move on and modify it later. But if you get it right, then great.
You have a pretty interesting logo for Macroscopic Solutions. Did you create that yourself? Did you hire somebody to do it? And what should other people do?
So us being in imaging, we already had a lot of expertise in Adobe's products like Photoshop, Lightroom, and Illustrator. So I liked creating things already. I always, found myself to be a creative person. If you're not, I would say try and locate or identify with a relative or a friend or somebody that's, enjoys creativity or is, sort of in the digital media and design field, and that's what they do. Most of us know someone, and it's a good project for them to get started pro bono. If not, if you do have a hard time finding somebody, then it's not a bad idea to outsource and get a selection of picks and items that you can pick from. But I would also just kind of like the accounting side. There's going to be a lot of work that you encounter as an entrepreneur that's very creative, whether it be from just footnotes and headers on letters, logo design, or other things. So I don't think it's a bad thing to maybe watch a few tutorial videos to learn how to use Photoshop or Lightroom or Illustrator. And in our case, we had always used Adobe Illustrator to design and build and modify our own logos.
So you guys designed your own then, and you didn't hire anybody outside of the company to make it?
Yes, that's correct.
So Social Sudo's logo is way simpler than Macroscopic Solutions. Do you want to talk a little bit about why we chose that route and how we came up with it?
Yeah, and in speaking with our experience, again, we didn't want to get stuck too much on a logo, but we also wanted something that was very simple, very clean, and very easy for the people that worked with us or viewed our content to identify with our logo. So really what we did is we, again, turned to Adobe Illustrator, we selected a font that we liked, and we started by typing out our company name. And then we started looking at the arrangement of letters and the format, what word we wanted on top and which one we wanted on bottom. And we ultimately just decided to keep it super simple, stick with a black and white color theme, which we think is really clean and really sharp and very clear for our viewers. And then we decided to just merge the S's with the font that we selected, and that was it. At the end of the day, we probably could modify our logo downstream, but we honestly really like what we've created. It's very simple and it's easy to identify with. And sometimes that's just how it happens. You just do a little bit of wordplay, put it together, and when you like it, you've got it.
Awesome. All right. I think that's enough said.